Well, good morning. Thanks for joining me for yoga today. So, if you're not already on your mat, go ahead and come to your mat. We'll start as we often do in a seated position. So, I like to sit cross legged. If this doesn't work for your body because your knees or your hips don't like it, you can definitely straighten out your legs. You can elevate your seat with a cushion or a block. As you elevate your seat, sometimes it makes it a little bit more comfortable in the hips. So take a moment to find a seat that's comfortable for you. And then once you land into your comfortable seat, bring your palms together in front of your heart. We'll interlace our fingers, press the palms forward and up. And then just start to reach up through one hand and up through the other side. Left and right a few times. Just give a little gentle tug on your fingers, sensing into each palm, down each arm, each side of the body. All right, let the hands separate, bring them down to the floor. And then we'll just walk the right hand out a little bit and then lean into the right hand. Take the left hand to the left shoulder and begin to circle. A couple of circles in one direction. And then a couple circles the opposite way. All right, then sweep your left arm up alongside your head. And as you reach with that left hand, start to squeeze and release the fingers, as well as rotate through your wrist. Again, a couple of times each way. All right, the next time you breathe in, lift up. And as you breathe out, release your left hand down. We'll do the same on the other side. So slide the left hand out, lean into that hand, take the right hand to the right shoulder, and start to circle. All right, change directions. All right, the right arm sweeps up alongside the head. Reaching with that right hand, squeeze and release the fingers and rotate through the wrist. A few times each way. All right, with your next inhale, lift up. And exhale, release your right hand down. All right, shift on to hands and knees. So as you come to hands and knees, just bring your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. If you're on a surface that's really hard, like a really hard floor, and your knees are sensitive to this, just put a blanket underneath your knees. Or as I'm doing, use a couple of different mats. All right, so from this position, as you inhale, let your belly drop. Lift your head and your tailbone. As you exhale, tuck your tail, round your back, bring your chin toward your chest. Again, with your inhale, belly drops, head and tail lift up. And exhale, tuck and round. All right, one more like that. Breathing in. And breathing out. All right, so as you bring your torso back to neutral, scoot your knees closer together and then lift your left knee up and out to the side. And then we'll start to rotate through the hip. So left knee draws a big circle in space. And then change directions. All right, now reach your left leg back behind you. Keep the leg lifted up into the air, just about the same height as your torso. And then reach your right arm forward. So this begins to introduce a little bit of a balance challenge. If it's a bit too much to keep that right hand lifted, just take your right hand back down to the floor and focus on elongating back through that left leg. All right, take 3 breaths. All right, now bring your right hand down to the floor. Cross the left leg over the right leg so that your toes can drop down. And then curve your spine toward the right. So you're looking back at that left foot, sensing all the way up the left side of the body. All right, as you bring your torso back to neutral, step that left foot forward to your left hand. Just come into a short lunge to start so that as you now lift your torso up, your front knee is over your ankle and then your back hip is over your knee. And then we'll take this right hand to the left knee, sweep the left hand or the right hand to the left knee, left hand sweeps forward and up and back and down, rotating a few times through your left shoulder. Nice big circle. All right, now the next time you take your left arm back, go ahead and pause in the twist and turn your head to look back. Spotting that left thumb. Start to relax the muscles of your face and your jaw. A couple of deep breaths. All right, as you now bring your left hand forward, take both hands to the floor. Bring that left leg back in space. Hands back under shoulders. Knees back under hips. Now, in between sides, we'll tuck our toes under. Lift the knees, take the hips up into the air. Take a moment to come into downward facing dog with your hips reaching up, your heels dropping toward the floor. So for most of us, the heels don't quite touch the floor, and that's okay. We're looking for sensation rather than heels dropping all the way to the floor. So noticing how your ankles feel, how the backs of the legs feel. I'd shake out your head, yes and no, in this position. Really just let go of what's unnecessary. So sometimes we're holding tension and we don't even know it. So invite a little bit of jiggle into the body just to find those places that could let go if you let them. We'll take one more breath. All right, release down to your knees. Let the toes untuck, sit back toward your feet. All right, as you fold forward, let your head release toward the floor. If the head doesn't quite come to the floor, if you have something like a cushion or a block, you can rest your head on that. Sometimes as we sit back towards child's pose, it can be a little bit uncomfortable in the hips or the knees for some of us. So you might opt to take your knees a little bit wider and see if that's more comfortable. If folding over the legs themselves is not quite comfortable. And then your head might not even come all the way down to the floor or another surface. You might keep it slightly lifted and just rest on your forearms. All right, we'll take 3 rounds of breath. All right, so after your third breath, come back up onto hands and knees. Take the knees back together. This time, right knee lifts up and out to the side. And then we'll rotate through the hip. So big circle with that right knee. Try to let the movement come from the hip rather than the spine. So we're keeping the arms straight here. Torso relatively stable. Change directions. All right, and then reach that right foot back in space. lift it up about the same height as your torso. Begin to take your left arm forward, finding a little bit of a balance challenge here, but as with the first side, if lifting this left hand all the way up into the air isn't going to work today, just keep the left hand close to the floor for a little bit of balancing support. And we'll take 3 breaths. Keep your lifted limbs nice and strong. And then after your third breath, let your left hand come down. Cross the right leg over the left leg, drop the toes. Begin to curve your spine towards the left as you peek back at your right foot. And sensing all the way up the right side of the body, a little bit of a stretch on the right side. All right, then as you bring your torso back to neutral, step your right foot forward to your right hand. And just stepping into a short lunge so that as you lift up, you have your front knee over your ankle and your back hip right over your knee. And then we'll take the left hand over to the right knee, sweep the right hand forward and up and back and down, rotating a few times here. All right, so the next time you take your right arm back, pause in the twist, turn your head to look back towards your right thumb. Again, relax and soften through the facial muscles, the cheeks, the jaw. All right, now take the right hand forward, hands to the floor. This time we'll step the left foot forward and come into a forward fold. So feet about hip distance or maybe a little bit wider. Start with your knees bent, lay the belly on or close to the thighs. Releasing the weight of the head. Now, it might be comfortable to straighten the legs a little bit, but it also might be nice just to keep the knees bent so that you have a little bit of support for your low back by laying the torso on or close to the thighs. And then just walk your hands up the fronts of the legs, rising to stand. And so as you come to stand, we'll shrug our shoulders up, take them back and down, again shrugging up and back and down, and then once more up and back and down. All right, now take your feet a little bit closer to hip distance apart. And then as you inhale, take your hips back, take your arms forward and up, landing in chair pose. Then as you exhale, press into your heels, rise back up and reach your arms back in space. So we'll do that another 2 times. Inhale, press the hips back, take the arms up. Exhale, press through your heels, rise up, reach back. All right, one more like that. Breathing in. And breathing out. All right, now we'll do a standing breathing practice called breath of joy. So similar stance between your feet. You might be about hip distance with your feet or a little wider, but have some buoyancy in your knees. So in this breathing practice, we breathe in 3 times and then breathe out 1 time. So as you're breathing in 3 consecutive times, you'll take your arms forward and then out and then up, kind of like a conductor. And then as you exhale, you'll bend your knees, sweep your arms back, exhaling out the mouth. So one round of it looks like this. All right, so we'll do just about 15 to 20 breaths. If you ever get lightheaded, just come out of it, pause, take a few natural, easy breaths. This is something that's designed to kind of energize and wake your body up. And so if it's too much, just slow down or stop and then restart if you want to. All right, again, have some buoyancy in your knees and let's begin. Last breath. Now go ahead and pause, fold it about halfway forward, your knees a little bent, forearms resting on the thighs. Let your breath come back into a natural and easy pace and rhythm. All right, and then when you feel ready, just gradually rise back up to stand. And then we'll turn and step wide on the mat. So as you step wide, go ahead and turn your right toes out towards the short edge of the mat. And then turn your left toes slightly in. So already you can kind of feel this difference in the way that your two hips are rotated. And then take your arms out over your legs. Take a moment to feel your hands taking up space, fingers spread wide. Turn the head over to the right. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as you bend your right knee. Again, inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale and bend. One more, breathing in. And breathing out. Now keep your legs where they are with this right knee bent, left leg straight. Now as you inhale, lean back towards your left leg. Right arm up. As you exhale, right forearm down to the thigh, left arm up alongside the head. 2 more times. Inhale up and back. Legs are steady, torso is flowing. Exhale, forearm to thigh, left arm to head. And one more, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, inhale, lift up. And exhale, release your arms. All right, go ahead and switch your feet so that now left toes are turning out, right toes slightly in. Again, notice that difference in sensation up into the hips based on the way that the legs are rotating. Take the arms over the legs. Again, feel the fingers spread nice and wide apart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as you bend your left knee. Again, inhale, straighten. Exhale and bend. And once more, inhale, straighten. And exhale and bend. All right, keep the left knee bent. Inhale, lean back towards the right. Take that left arm up. Exhale, take your left forearm to your thigh, your right arm up alongside your head. Twice more like that. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, shifting forward. And one more, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, as you inhale, lift up, straighten your left leg, and exhale, release your arm. All right, step near the back of the mat. Feet about hip distance. Take another inhale, find one more chair pose. Arms forward or up, hips back, knees bent. Exhale, fold over your legs, walk out to downward dog. Once again, hips up into the air. Sensing into the backs of the legs as well as the heels. All right, as you release down to your knees, go ahead and come to a seated position with your legs going forward. Now, just like we did in the beginning, where we were sitting up on a cushion, some of us, you may decide to sit up on a cushion if sitting right in this sort of L shape, if it makes your back round, then you know you need some elevation to help you be in a more neutral position with your spine. All right, so with or without elevation, depending on how you feel best, let this right leg be straight, bend your left knee, walk the foot in. All right, with that left foot walked in, take the right arm to make connection with this left leg. So maybe you're scooping around, elbow around the shin. You might just take the hand to the shin. You might take your elbow to the outside of the knee. So all of us have different proportions. So connect right arm to left leg in a way that feels good for you. Left hand to the floor behind you. Inhale, grow tall. Let everything that touches the earth press down. Exhale, twist toward your left. So looking back past your left shoulder. And then we'll keep the head turning here a little bit. So turn the head back toward the front, spotting that right big toe. And then turn the head again to look back. Now, keeping your torso nice and upright, continue to turn your head slowly, spotting the right big toe, and then looking back behind you. Start to slow your breath down, feeling the breath inflate the chest, the ribs, and that expansion pressing down onto the belly. So there's a sense of the belly moving, even though the breath itself doesn't go into the belly. Sense of the whole torso being nice and free to move, free to be influenced by the breath. All right, so the next time that you look back behind you, start to release the rotation from head and neck, shoulders, and the rest of the torso. All right, so we'll switch sides. Let your left leg straighten, bend your right knee, walk your foot in a little bit. Let the left arm connect with the right leg in a way that's comfortable for you. So again, maybe it's elbow hooking around the shin. Maybe it's just the hand coming to meet the shin. Maybe it's the elbow to the outside of the knee. Right hand towards the floor behind you. Inhale, grow tall. Everything that touches the earth roots down. Crown of the head rises up. Exhale and twist. Turn your head to look back. And then maintain that gentle turning of the head as you look forward towards your left big toe. And turn the head to look back. Slow and steady rotation at the neck. Slow and steady breathing. All right, and then after the next time that you look back behind you, start to release rotation from head and neck, from shoulders, and the rest of your torso. Let that right leg straighten out. Come down onto your back. As you come onto your back, take both of your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. Gently massage your low back. All right, then we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh. And then as you draw your legs back in toward your chest, let the right hand come through the hole you've made here. So with the right ankle over the left thigh, right hand goes through the hole. All right, so you can grab around your shin. You could grab behind your knee. If reaching all the way to your left leg doesn't work for your proportions, you can just keep that left foot on the floor and just hold on to the right foot with your left hand and then the right knee with your right hand. Because in this posture, essentially, we're using that left leg to stretch the right leg. So if holding on to the left leg doesn't quite work for your body, just hold the right leg. And bring a little rotation into that left foot. A couple of times each way. All right, release both feet down to the floor. Step them a little wider than your hips and sway your knees from side to side. All right, then we'll do the other side. So when you're ready, cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Bring the legs into the chest, left hand through the hole. Grab your right leg. Or as before, if that doesn't quite work, just hold on to your left leg with your hands. Gentle rocking side to side, as well as rotate through the right ankle. Hmm. All right, again, release your feet down to the floor. Step them a little wider than your hips, and one more time, sway your knees from side to side. All right, then let the knees drop in toward each other. Let your hands rest on your belly or the floor. And we'll take just a few minutes here for a breathing practice that emphasizes the length of the exhale. So the next time that you inhale, breathe into the count of 3. Hold your breath in for 3 counts. And then exhale to the count of 6. Again, inhale to 3. Hold for 3. Exhale for 6. Inhale to 3. Hold for 3. Exhale for 6. Now keep going in this way for a few more rounds of breath. Now, after the next time that you exhale to the count of 6, release the control of your breathing so that your body begins to breathe at a speed and a volume that supports whatever's going on inside your body, letting go of control of that breath. Let your legs straighten out. Take your arms up above your head, stretch out hands to feet. All right, take your knees back into your chest, give them a gentle squeeze, and then roll to one side. Press yourself up, back into your seat. And we'll conclude by bringing our palms together in front of our hearts. And as we bow to the light within ourselves, we also bow to the light within each other. Thank you again for joining me for practice today. The next one of these I'll do is on Saturday morning, same time. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.